Hello there, I'm Lee Sass, and this is Skyrim. And the reason I say it in that quizzical voice, because I didn't really think I was very likely to be doing anything with Skyrim on YouTube as a Let's Play. And, well, why? Because it's Skyrim, for God's sake. The YouTube's full of Skyrim. You might as well make a Minecraft video. But the reason I'm doing it now is because someone inspired me recently. Indirectly, I was watching some videos by Veriax, who is a brilliant Let's Player, and he was doing something that made me think I might give this a quick go. So what he's doing is he has been playing a heavily modded version of Morrowind, one of my earlier Elder Scrolls games, and he has been doing it with some role-playing, things that aren't involved in the game anyway, just, you know, bringing role-playing into it, based on how his character behaves. And this is nothing new for me. I've always done personalised role-play in Oblivion and Skyrim. I've, you know, always sleeping and eating at the right time, and only behaving in certain ways that I think fit with the character that I've created. But Veriax took it a step further. So what he did in his Let's Plays, and he's still doing now, is he has been setting up random characters. He's had a table of random characters that could be created, and setting for each of them an individual quest of some sort, something outside the normal game. So it could be, you know, visiting particular locations in order, stealing an item, lots of different quests that have been built around this. And he rolls a dice and chooses which one he's going to play, and he plays it until he either succeeds or he dies. Now, I'm not going to copy this completely by any means, but just the whole idea of setting the simpler quests for Skyrim appealed to me. The thing I'd done close to this before was a Let's Play I'd originally thought of quite a while back, which was to revive a character that I'd used in Oblivion, a character called Patronus, who was the hero of the Knights of the Nine from the DLC set of that name in Oblivion. And I thought of maybe bringing back one of his great-great-grandchildren with the same name in Skyrim, and I was going to use him just to do the Civil War quest on the side of the Imperials. He was like an old soldier, not as devout and nice as his great-great-grandfather in any way whatsoever, but was trying to redeem himself somewhat in old age, an old soldier trying to make better of himself by getting back into the Imperial army and doing something good. And that was my idea, and I started off and it all seemed pretty good. It was very exciting and interesting to take this new line. And I discovered that, first of all, they make you do some of the main quest, even if you only just focus on the Civil War line. You still have to do some of the nonsense with the main quest, even if you don't want to. And also, quite frankly, after a while it got a bit boring. It started off quite interesting with how the Civil War quest turned out, but if you've ever played it, you only discover after a while that all you're doing is basically go here, kill this enemy commander, wipe the camp out, and do it again and again until the final battles. And the big battles weren't particularly interesting either. So after I had looked at this, I thought, no, I'm not going to do the Let's Play. This would be awful. But now I've come back to it again with this idea. So here's the plan. I'm not going to, as I say, I'm not going to copy what Veriax did, and this is by no means anything he's aware of or something he's given his blessing to. He knows me of nothing more than a name on his very long subs list. It's just something he inspired me to do. But what I want to do is take a character, give them some sort of backstory, give them an individual quest which is different from the main one in a considerable way, and see where it goes, set some limits to myself and see how it works. And hopefully it'll be entertaining for you and for me, and we'll see what happens. So, the first one is here, and we'll see how it goes. I've decided to create an Imperial, and the main backstory I came up with was that he is going to go on a pilgrimage, which was, you know, a pretty common thing to do in medieval times and in England and other parts of Europe. And in his case, I wasn't too sure about why, but essentially he's getting on a bit now as a trader in the Imperial City, and he wants to revisit his roots. His family originally came from Skyrim. He wants to revisit and not atone for any particular massive sins, but just to visit the major shrines. That's the main pilgrimage. He's going to visit all the major shrines of the eight divines. We know there are 9, but the 8 divines in Skyrim. Visit some of the smaller ones. I've got already got an idea of which ones he would like to go to, and I have a number of rules set around how he behaves. And he's going to be built upon the. If you remember, if you ever played Oblivion, they had different character classes. So you had things like a thief and an assassin and a custom class. And this one's going to be built around the Pilgrim. So he will be light armor and simple weapons, and I'm going to try and push him more towards, more of a character who would talk. He was originally a merchant. That was my idea. He was originally a fairly low-grade silver merchant. He has the ability to talk and to sell, and I would do more of that rather than just make a purely a combat character. And we'll see how it goes. So when I start to create this character from the usual presets and things up here, well, not the presets, but the design up here, what I will do is I will talk a bit more about. I never like the presets in these things. Make your own presets. That's what I say. I will talk about some of the rules that I'm going to apply. Well, first of all, he's not. He hasn't been doing very much for very long. He's been in a shop somewhere, so let's not make him too chunky or too. Let's make him about average. There we go. Okay. So some of the rules I've come up with. So yes, so first is the Pilgrim build. That's what I'm going to do first. Secondly, how haggard are you, sir? A little bit haggard. No dirt, though. Second rule, food and sleep. Like I mentioned before, I've always done this, and I've always tried to eat at the right time. No scars, I don't think. Or no war paint. He's a merchant, for goodness sake. Eat at the right time, and to sleep at the right time, if at all possible. And I did look at using... Oops. I did look at using mods to create the effect of hunger and food in the game. I always find it a little upsetting. It never really did anything, food. Not even Oblivion or Skyrim particularly. I know there's some minor effects, but not really a great deal. I did try that, but the mods simply didn't work very well, quite frankly. It wasn't... it's a slightly broken looking nose, isn't it? I simply found that it wasn't really a very good mod. It didn't really work very well. It did some very odd things, and I don't know. I've taken it out. It caused some very odd effects with. I see what they're trying to do with things like stamina and things like that. Effects with the stamina, and it simply didn't work very well. So I've taken that out, and I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to rely on, me being good and carrying enough food if at all possible. And I usually take much more time over this, but I think I'll try not to. Let's make him a bit chubbier. He's probably had a fairly easy life through most of this. Bit of drink, maybe. Bit of suffused face, laugh lines. Not really sure that counts as laugh lines, but there we go. So that's the rule there. I will try to do where possible. Secondly, or rather, thirdly, probably, no map. So, I mean, the map, I would like to be able to turn off the hints on the map. Let's make more of a red nose if we can. Not black, red. There we go. Can we make him clean shaven as well? Where is that in here? I can't remember. If at all possible. Oh, he's looking a bit of a rough sort so far. I didn't really want to have such a rough looking man. Maybe if I make him older, he'll look a bit better. I don't know. Oh, that's quite bad. And some blue imperial eyes. I think not bloodshot. Yeah. So clearly this man will have looked at the map. Let's give him his name. What name did I come up with? Where was it? Stryko Kalius. Kalius? Yeah, Kalius. Stryko Kalius. So I used a random number generator for this. I'll put a link in the description for this. So Stryko, he knows roughly where he's going. He knows approximately the whereabouts of the cities. He knows he's going to be coming into Windhelm on a ship. He's taken passage around Skyrim from the Imperial City to get here. He knows roughly where he is, and he knows where the cities are, and he can take the roads and the paths there. But he hasn't not actually carrying a map around with him. And I would probably let that go if you could take out the hints on the map of what's around and things like that. I've never enjoyed that particularly. I'd rather discover things myself. So I've taken that out entirely. Doesn't he do much of his eyes? Slightly bulgy eyes. There we go. Now let's make them slightly more bulgy. There we go. I never like to make two characters that are too good looking, by any means. eyeshadow, eye tint, goodness. So, fourth rule, no... Ooh, eyebrows. Make a face, eyebrows, they really do. Not missing eyebrows, that's just daft. They're quite good. So yeah, no running. So, if you've ever played Skyrim, you know what it's like. As soon as you get out of the city, you start dashing across the landscape. Not actually sprinting. That's a different thing. But you certainly do a lot of running. And pilgrimages are as much about the journey as they are the destination. So I don't want to run. For a change, I want to walk through Skyrim. Now, don't get too worried. I'm not gonna. Ooh, here we go. He's a merchant. Look at him, thin lips. Not too fat. Thin? No? That's not bad. He's a bit normal, though. I like to have people looking a bit more interesting. That's okay. Yeah, so I'm not gonna... Oh my goodness. What a face. Look at a face on. Oh dear, there we go. Look like a chimp. He's looking like a Neanderthal if he's not careful. That's not bad, though. He looks very sad around the eyes, doesn't he, really? So, yeah, so I wanted to walk, and I'm not gonna make you sit through all of this. If I'm just walking across the landscape and nothing particularly interesting is happening, then, you know, I'll cut those bits out. I edit. You know, I'm happy to edit videos, so but I think it's important to try and do this to see what happens, see what it's like, and just appreciate the landscape a bit more. When you're playing, I found, if you play a game and you... petulant lip. If you... Is that too much? As long as you do the coloration here and you get to the game and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Now, I've made an elf before now with slightly yellowish skin and sort of bright neon yellow. That was Oblivion though, so there we go, slightly pink. This is where we go, we can get a bit of age on him now. Well, that's quite neat. I have to concentrate now, I can't do two things at once. So I won't be running, I'll be walking across the landscape, except if something's after me, in which case I will run like hell, because if things probably will be after me, I'll probably be massively outgunned and I'm going to try and hide. Next one. Good deeds and charity. So, again, this man is supposed to be on... Let's get rid of his facials. Would you have a fussy beard if you were a merchant? Not a big beard like that, you're not a ruffian. Let's have a look. Do we have any facial hair at all? Would he be clean shaven? Like Romans tend to be clean shavens, didn't they? In there, be Roman. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave him clean for now. There we go. But I want greyish hair. He's getting on a bit, you know. He's thinking about life and thinking about, you know, the how will you be remembered? Not really grey. How will you be remembered? Is probably what he's thinking of with this pilgrimage, you know. Some religions do that. They think, you know, getting on in life a little bit. Maybe I should think about the afterlife, if you're religiously inclined, and therefore maybe I should do something for the health of my soul. Let's have a look. Let's find a nice hairstyle for a merchant. I often do baldy. I've done baldies before. Patronus was a baldy. I don't want to do a baldy, thank you very much. That's quite neat, but I'd rather have... I think I want to go back to the braids. They look quite... Where were they? That one? No, I quite like that one, actually, yeah. Are we done? Yeah, I'll have a think about it. There you go. So good deeds and charity. We will try to do them where possible. I'm not going to be putting my life at risk, if at all possible, but if I can, if I can do something good for someone, I will try to. And lastly, of course, no murdering or thieving or anything like that. I'm going to try and fit with how the character would be, if you see what I mean. Am I done? I usually spend a bit more time over characters, but I think I'm okay, really, with that. I think that'll do for now. Finish and name your character. So let's see how I spell this. Striker... Canius. Do I like that name? Yeah, it's okay. There we go. Now, by the way, this mod is called Second Life, and hold on a second. Use the Mara statue to choose a new life for yourself. So I've practiced around with this. This is a very nice mod. This enables you to skip the start. Is that a bit laggy? I'm not sure. I might have to adjust things to see how well this is looking. I've got a feeling a bit of a lag going on. I'm not used to recording this, and I might drop the resolution a little bit. Yeah, it's a mod that allows you to start with a silliness in Helgen and the dragon attack and all the rest, which did frustrate me after a while. I've played many hours of Skyrim and tried many different characters, and it always bored me to have to go through the same part again and again. So we're going to pick a new...
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
I came by ship to Skyrim.
Which city did you sail to?
Mother Mara, I came into Windhelm.
A life filled with opportunity awaits you, traveler.
Okay, so I've tested this already. I know roughly where I should come out and the sort of things I should have. Let's get going, shall we? And here we are. I've already got my equipment. I do. I have some equipment already. Let's see what I've got. Oh, sorry. Enables. It's one of my mods. I'll list all the mods. Come on, enable sounds. Enable, yes. Lots of different sounds, and pigeons and rain and bees and all sorts are on here that I've just... It always asks me every time I start up. Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you for reading my emotion. Okay, let's go to the inventory. What have I got? See if that's the same as last time. Iron sword. Okay, last time I didn't have that. Oh, I have to take the tutorial off. Apparel. Well, that's annoying because I wasn't planning on using any magic, but I'll wear it for now. I've got some items. Silver ring, that's reasonable. I used to be a silversmith. I've got a little bit of food. And I've got a garnet. How much money have I got? Some money. Okay.
The Nords, Argonians, and Dark Elves in Windhelm got along better.
Is that right? I have no idea. I'm a new person to this city. So anyway, that's it for now, I think. I'm going to... That's enough for a silly rambling intro that I've done. I'm going to go and check some settings and see how this recorded. And I'll be back to see you in the next video to see how this goes.